Greetings, vampires and black swans. My name is Father Sebastiaan, Impresario of the Endless Night Vampire Ball, Master Fangsmith of the Sabretooth clan, and author of Black Veils, Mysteries of Paris, and Strigoi. Today, I would like to invite you to join me on my vampire adventure into vampire culture, music, art, and magic on the Father Sebastiaan experience. Let's begin with our first guest of the week, Anthony Shock the Monster.
What's up, dude?
Yeah.
nice intro.
I couldn't help it. I mean, we just had.
I'm a theatrical guy, and that was a nice theatrical intro. I appreciate it.
Cool. How you doing, man? It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, it has been. Well, how long?
An hour.
An hour, yeah. We had tea
tea
and trumpets.
Yes, we're being fabulous British men.
Maybe I should take this gum out of my mouth, man.
Okay.
I don't want to be the annoying gum guy.
No, you're fine. So how you doing, man? What's new in the world?
Busy, man. All sorts of crazy stuff. Both bands, Neon Coven. Well, last Neon Coven we left off was at the Vampire Ball there. That was fun.
Very good.
We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, we're working on some new music and some shows. And then we just finished some stuff, so we're putting some artwork together for those songs. It's like a 4-song EP. And then Merzik is doing some pretty cool new stuff as well. We're working towards we're gonna put a new single out soon. We shot the music video for Freak Girl recently.
Oh, good.
On my buddy David's and Irfan's company stage. It's called Create This LA. And they have an XR projection mapping stage, which is amazing. It's got a huge, it's got we got like a red Komodo with a mega lens on a huge jib. And it's like it's a big cyc wall, and we XR projection map onto the wall, any images, kind of like a volume, like how Disney does it. But this is projection mapped, and it's not LED. And so we shot on there. We had Vamprophilia, Ashley, my best friend, all of our sister. Our sister, yeah. All of our sister, best friend.
She's the sister of everybody. All the vampires of LA love our sister.
Yeah, she's the freak girl. And so it'll be pretty rad to show that eventually. We just got to get the thing edited. We're doing all the effects right now because the way it's done is a lot of it, the way we shoot now is everything's in camera. So you have all these effects, the world that you create, everything is there. So you're almost getting the final product right off the bat. But we still need to put like a final pass on effects, and then we got to do all the editing. So it's still going to take a little while. But anyway, that's Merzik. The new songs, a new single's dropping soon, it's called Muse, and I wrote it in 2010 maybe, and we just redid it, and it sounds super rad. It's real heavy, super gothic, very vampire-y, very sexy, and I'm very excited to show that and probably do a music video for that as well. Mm-hmm. And then just producing some other songs for and records for other people and artists. And actually just talked to Fira the other day and Michael. And so that something else could happen with that soon. I don't know. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on in the music world. Other than that, Vampiro, the book, working on talking to Hollywood, getting some good reactions from the book that was released. And we started the second book's done, and we're talking to some people in Hollywood to try and get like a series done. My dad and I have adapted the script, the first book to a script for an 8-episode series. So the script is done, at least on our part.
Oh,
and
great.
So we're trying to get some people involved. If anybody out there knows someone that wants to be involved in a new vampire mafia James Bond thing, let us know.
With Interview with the Vampire coming out, there's a whole new generation of vampires coming.
Right. Yeah. And then there's a couple of comedies that are actually look pretty awesome because obviously we all love What We Do in the Shadows is done perfectly. But the new Nick Cage one that's coming out, it's going to be, I can't wait for that. And then I think it's just Dracula, right? I think they're just going to call it Dracula or something.
I think he's playing Renfield.
Okay. Yeah. He's got that that plush red suit or whatever. And then Day Shift, which looks pretty funny with Snoop Dogg. I didn't know that was a vampire thing. I just saw like a poster when I was driving down the street in Hollywood, and I just saw Day Shift, and I was like, "What the hell is that?" Just Snoop Dogg, and then I saw the trailer, and they're vampire hunters or vampires or something. It actually looks pretty funny and rad. Like CGI looks pretty rad, so we're gonna have to check that out. I just love that. Like, I know we're tangenting all over the place here, but I love that there's the comedy aspect of vampires because there's so much great comedy that you can do with vampires because we're funny. There's a goofiness to it, but and then I love like I still watch Castlevania almost daily. I just have it on all the time now in the background. It's probably the best animated series I think's ever been made. Music, the vibe, every time it just has this amazing like old, mysticalness to it, and the music and the vibe and all that or whatever. And I just think that we need more good dark vampire stuff. Twilight thing was like, it's cool for all the teens and all that, or whatever back then. But we need the next big rad, just like deep, just like, like Game of Thrones was so just epic, like good epic. And that's what we're trying to do with Vampiro, is really make that next epic that people are just like, holy crap, finally, like a really rad, dark, fun, adventure-y, like espionage, just everything that you would want at something new and different as a vampire.
You have a copy of the book so you can show the cover?
I do actually. Crap, I was supposed to grab that. That's right here. Hold on a second. Yeah.
So Anthony and his dad wrote a vampire mafia story, and it's really good. I read it a couple years ago, and there we go, Vampiro.
Is that seeing that? So yeah, it's actually, I'll read the back really quick here.
All right.
Brasky pointed to a stone sarcophagus in the middle of the room. Pietro regained his composure and made his way over to it, covering his nose with the inside of his elbow. His eyes began to burn as he looked into the container that was filled to the top with a clear liquid. As he focused, he could make out the dark form of the submerged body. Please step away for a moment, Pietro. Brasky backed away from the sarcophagus and walked around the room, lighting torches on the walls. The room took on a warm amber glow from the orange-yellow flames of the sconces that now illuminated its contents. Brasky put his torch in an empty holder near the door. The liquid is alcohol and will ignite if the flames get too near. He approached Pietro, who was still gazing into the stone container. This may also get a bit sickening for you, Pietro. Brasky rolled up the sleeve of his robe and reached his right arm deep into the liquid at the head of the sarcophagus. He lifted and pulled up the head and torso of a corpse. Pietro stiffened, his eyes wide and with dread as he recognized what Brasky held in his arm. And then the inside is quick. This is just the quick inside of the book here, just to get everybody all hyped, because a lot of people don't know what's going on here. But this explains it. In the city of Los Angeles, a Russian plot of industrial espionage quickly turns into an international incident involving the entire underworld organization of vampires. The Vampiros are the head of 6 worldwide vampire covens and are the targets of revenge. Over hundreds of years, they've gained control of the international blood supply and the viral DNA technology that controls the side effects and enhancements of the Vampirian virus, an ancient menace to the Catholic Church. Jimmy Vampiro, the eldest son, finds himself suddenly thrown back into his role as the enforcer after years of peace within the covens, brought on by the strategic brilliance of his father, Peter. He and the rest of the family are tasked with preventing the world from falling into chaos from Peter's longtime rival, Igor Leninov, head of the Russian coven. Vampiro is an adventure that spans centuries and continents as it unfolds into a tale of betrayal, romance, and intrigue. The Vampiros emerge from the shadows to reveal themselves as one of the United States' most important allies. Sorry, I can't talk. I can't talk to that.
So one thing that
there's my pops there.
Yeah, your dad is
yeah, a photo of the author, and you get this really cool spine, red spine foil.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, I did all the graphics. We created it together. The whole thing is because of you, because because of the BuzzFeed thing. You're like, hey, you want to do that BuzzFeed thing? I was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I go do the BuzzFeed thing blew up, did 3 episodes, brought us back or whatever. And then I got hit up by a production company in New York, and they wanted me to do a Bachelor reality show as a vampire. And I was like, yeah, thanks for the offer, but I don't do reality. because I've been holding out for character stuff for bigger films, which something else we can talk about that's happening right now. And when I told my dad that, he's like, "Yeah, you didn't want to do reality," and then he's like, "But what if you were like a spy, or like you were recruited by the CIA, and you're like Jimmy, And he immediately started coming. He's like, "Oh my God, yeah!" And if I and this, and he's like, "Let's go get steak and wine somewhere right now and talk about it more." I was like, "Okay." So we get in the convertible, drive down to the steakhouse at night, and we just sit there all dressed up, and we just literally got full method and just started writing, and it was the coolest thing ever. And so because that whole, I always look back at how everything manifests and unfolds. And so I have to, I got to thank you for that, because it's changed his life. Like he's, I love to see him so in his later years here, retiring and all that, to see him so creative. And we didn't know he was such a great writer. And so he's just getting better and better and better and better. And he puts his mind to it and he just goes for it. And so it's so cool to be involved, father and son kind of thing, and to create something so different and unique. And it gets really fantastic. The second book gets really fantastical. Like he's really done a number on it, a lot of editing and all that. And it's bringing in, we've got, the second book is called The Last Corsair. And we finally have vampires and pirates together.
Oh shit. Fira's gonna love that one.
I know. We got Egypt in there with the pyramids, and like, I just tell him ideas and he's like, okay. And he writes it in and just created this amazing, it's so cool. I want to make a series so bad, because I think this is something we really need in the vampire world and community, and all the fans out there of vampires, because we've got What We Do in the Shadows is just so fun on the comedy side, but we need that like deep, rich, creativity of the storylines and all that. So anyway,
ever since I met you, I've called you Anthony Lost Boys.
Yes, sir.
You remind me of one of the guys from the boardwalk in Santa Carla.
Yeah.
And we got to do a trip up there sometime. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we should. Would be super fun.
I was just at the boardwalk, and one of my fan clients was like, "Let's go to the Lost Boys boardwalk. I've never seen the movie, but I want to see the boardwalk before I see the movie. Can you show me the spots?"
Yeah.
So I made her fangs up in Santa Carla.
Oh, nice.
And I tried to get the Hells Angels to do supporter shirts because they have the Santa Cruz Hells Angels. And I was like, "Can you make Santa Carla shirts?" And they were like, "No." Because there's another biker club. There's another bike club up there called the Vampires.
Oh, really? That makes sense.
Yeah. But what's good about Lost Boys is it's a redo of Peter Pan.
Right.
Okay. And the other thing is that it's an it's a California vampire myth. It's like,
this is true. Yeah, you've got it's a very yin and yang thing, because you have like Cali's all like sun, beaches and all that, but then you have like vampires, they're all dark and mysterious and all that. So you have this yin and yang of the light and the dark. And I think that's what the underlying thing that people dig is, like, yeah, man, fucking Santa Cruz, and everybody's like, woo. And then you have, oh, vampires, whoa.
Vampires everywhere.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Endless Night Vampire Ball adventure that you had.
Sure.
Because we tried to get you to play for years.
Yeah.
And we finally got you on stage.
Yeah, it was fun.
And I think you were one of our best bands.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Is that what the fans are saying?
The fans thought you guys fit really, really well. I think
that's awesome.
I think LA is very, very lucky to have really good music.
Mm-hmm.
And we had Orgy, we had Crew Shadows, we had G-Tom Mac, Vampira, Fira. We had Fira, she did great.
Yep.
And that LA ball is just getting bigger and bigger every year. And it was really nice to come back. And we had Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows as the host, the MC.
Yep. Super awesome.
Yeah, it was just a magical night. And it was the biggest Endless Night we've had in LA so far. Every year that event grows and gets better and more interesting. And the Globe Theater came to me afterwards and was like, "Can we do this monthly?" And I was like, "No."
That's a lot of work.
So
it's a lot of work.
So can you tell us about Neon Covenant, what that's about?
What Neon Covenant is about?
Yes. Who's in it? Who's your compatriots? And...
Yeah. So back in, I want to say 2014, I was tour managing and teching for the LA Guns, which is an 80s rock metal band, if people don't know who they are. And we were doing fly dates for the whole year all over the place, and basically just flying out on the weekends and playing shows all over the country. And one of the shows was the Monsters of Rock cruise. So we got to go on a cruise ship for 5 days, and we did Catalina and Sonata. And on the boat, a good friend of mine, April Lee, she's actually runs the production for Monsters of Rock, and we became good buddies because of LA Guns. And then she's like, "You have to meet my friend Jacob," and he's just like, I've had an Ace, and I've had this whole vision of like creating this like boy band, like a goth boy band. And I was like, okay. And so one night, you know, we all met, and Ace and I, me, Jacob, Ace, and April were all hanging out near the cafeteria, having some sandwiches. You know, it was late at night on the boat somewhere off of Catalina. You know, super cool. And she's like, "This is Jacob's Ace. Oh, cool." And we're, you know, just shooting shit, talking, whatever. And she's like, "You know, Anthony's a great singer and blah, blah, blah. And he has this other band, and you guys should talk and maybe like, you know, start a band or something when you get back to LA." And they're like, "Cool. Yeah, we could try it out." I was like, "All right, sweet." So I got Jacob's number and got back to LA, hit him up, and he's like, "Who is this?" He's like, "Oh yeah, the guy from the cruise." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Where do you live?" I was like, you know, down the street in Hollywood." He's like, "Oh, cool, we're neighbors." He's like, "Roll over." I was like, "All right." So I go to his house, and we go up to the roof with a piece of paper and an acoustic guitar, and he has this like rooftop like pool thing area at the where he lives. And within 2 hours, we had "Bleeding Love" written, and he just started playing some stuff on the guitar, started singing, and just kind of come up with stuff and some words. And he's like, "Cool, I like it." He's like, "I'll have it produced by next week." I was like, "Okay." And so I went home, and by next week, like there was drums, bass, guitar, keyboards, everything was in there. And I was like, "Whoa, it sounds totally different and awesome." He's like, "Yeah, come over, we'll do vocals." Like, okay. So go over to his house and laid down all the vocals. We, you know, wrote them, did all this thing, you know, made it beautiful, whatever. And then that night I ended up making the logo, came up with a name, did the logo. And we, you know, he's like, and he said, "Cool." He's like, "I like your voice. I dig it." And I was like, "Cool. I like you too, whatever." And he's like, "Let's make some more songs." Like, "All right, cool." So we made some more songs and put out that first record EP. And ever since then, we've just been, you know, making more and more stuff. This new stuff's a little different departure from the older stuff, but it's like the first time the whole band as a whole now is we've got Jacob Bunton is who I'm talking about. Jacob plays guitar, and then Kyle Cunningham's the drummer that I brought in because him and I used to play in Pretty Hate Machine together, which was a Nine Inch Nails tribute. And I love Kyle.
I saw that at the I think at the Viper Room you played there.
Yeah. That was fun. It was fun for a while. It's hard to do that now. It's like you got I have two original bands, and you know, there's like, you know, it's fun to play some Nine Inch Nails stuff here and there, but you know, I shouldn't be really doing that much anymore. But it's fun. So anyway, brought Kyle in, happiest dude in the world, love him. Jacob loved him, amazing drummer. And then we found Darren. We've had a couple of bass players since then, just to get some shows off and try to feel it out. And then, but you know, it didn't really work as well or whatever. And then we found Darren through Buddy, and he's been great. He's awesome. And so we have the full lineup now with Ace, Von Johnson, and Darren, and everybody. So, and Ace plays in LA Guns now. The lineup has changed, and so let's see. So when I was in it, it was Phil Lewis and a different lineup, and then there was the Tracy Guns version. So now Phil left the old version, and joined Tracy again to reunite as original singer and guitar player. And now they have and now it's just like the LA Guns, and they're touring, whatever. So they've got Ace playing the other guitar, and they're killing it. But Ace is obviously very busy, so some of these shows he isn't able to make right now. But he's always around. He's always in the band with us. So, but that being said, we finally went and wrote like all in a room together and sat there and like, all right, let's come up with music together, you know, instead of like everybody kind of like piecing, because the writing process is interesting. We all, you know, you send stuff to each other and we piece things together, and you know, all kind of comes together in a way. But this time we were just in the room and for a whole weekend and just wrote stuff, and then we got 4 tracks done, and they're interesting, they're cool, they're different. But we're just gonna keep making music and try to get some music videos done soon here finally, and then some shows coming up, and that's kind of the story there. So
That's awesome. One thing that's always interesting to see about musical collaborations, there's so much that goes into creating what you guys, you see a 45-minute set on stage,
right,
takes years or months,
yeah,
and years and
a long time,
decades to put together. And you guys seem to naturally, organically brought it together.
right,
And I'll tell you, the audience loved you. They
yeah.
were like, they were rocking out. And I was in the opera box watching you guys, and you there was an A plus act,
Oh, thanks, man.
five
Yeah, I
star
mean,
act.
yeah, these guys have all are pros. We're not kids anymore, like I used to be as a kid. Like, yeah, man, I want to be in a band. These guys. I mean, Jacob used to sing for Steven Adler. He sang for Cinderella. He just sang on Mick Mars' solo record from Motley Crue. He's a powerhouse, in the rock industry, and he's just so pro. And Ace has played with tons of people, and Kyle's played with tons of Mad Life and Pretty Machine and all these other bands. He played with Berlin once, which was really cool. And Darren's played with, I forgot all the bands he's played with, but we've all played with so many bands, and we just, sometimes we literally do like one rehearsal. Like, I think we had one rehearsal before the show. Full transparency, disclosure.
Wow.
Everyone, we rehearse on our own, we do our thing, and then we rent a space for like 4 hours the night before, and we're like, cool, let's go in and hash it out. We work on little transitions here and there and this, that, see how it sounds, go through it a couple of times. We're like, all right, cool, see you tomorrow. And that's it. Because Jacob, is back and forth from Alabama and LA. Kyle moved to Vegas, Ace in Nashville, and then Darren and I are in LA. But it's like, you can't just rehearse every week, a couple times a week, like, because we're not all just kids in a band, like, oh, let's just play music all the time like I used to. So it's a different level now. It's like you rehearse on your own. You're a man. You're professional. You're an adult, and then you just meet up for a few hours before a show and just knock out what you've been working on together, and then just hope for the best. And it was obviously nerve-wracking because it was a little while before we played a show. So we got one of our buddies as a sound guy, and then so there's 2 sound guys that night, which was great. And then but everybody killed it. It was a great job. It was a super fun show. So I was definitely a little nervous, but I had a great time. As soon as that first song gets off, even the first couple seconds, and you're like, yeah, and you can feel the vibe and everything. You're just like, all right, let's do this, and then it's just, the more the crowd's into it, the more I get into it. It's pretty standard. So it's actually, I play better when there's a lot of people. When there's like a couple of people, it's just nerve-wracking because you're like, this is super awkward. There's nobody here, when our bands were smaller back in the day. And so now it's
Well,
like, it's nice. There's a big chunk of people, huge crowd. It's like you feed off each other, and it just makes the show better.
well, any performance with the audience and the band is a collaboration. That's. I remember when you posted on Facebook, 12 things that you need to know when going back to live performances, and like one was like,
That I posted?
yeah, you posted that,
That
and it
sounds
was like,
familiar. I just can't remember.
yeah, no, I just recalled it. I would have to go dig it up.
Yeah.
But it was like what we need to do to go back to real live performances. It was like probably 18 months into the pandemic.
Okay.
And dude, when we had you finally on stage, because I remember we tried to get you a couple years ago and you weren't available, and now it just went smooth.
Yeah.
And like the new sound engineers at the Globe Theater were the first time that we used them with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought the sound was a lot better. Orgy, to be honest with you, they're a very good band, but the sound system in the Globe wasn't set up for them.
Yeah.
And I think it was a lot better this time, and I was
Slightly.
really happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm so adamant about like venues I play. It's just, and I love. I'm not gonna say anything anyway. I just, certain venues, you just, oh yeah, come play, or they invited us. I'm like, man, your sound is honest. Sorry, but your sound is just not ready yet, or what? Like, I'm honest with them. I'm like, it's not about just playing the show to a crowd, because it almost will do more damage. Like if there's a big crowd, it's like, yeah, but there's going to be a big built-in crowd, and it's like, yeah, but if the sound ain't right, for at least for us, then a large amount of people are going to hear us incorrectly. And that's not what we want. Like, I want people to hear my music the way that I wrote it, the way I hear it in my head. And if the sound system ain't right, then that's just the way it is. We're not like a go play in the corner with a drums, bass, guitar, and like a 3-piece, and it'll sound decent or whatever. It's like we have tracks and the backup vocals and keyboards and like all that stuff, and we have to have a rad sound system that has the capabilities of handling what we do. So it is same thing with Orgy. I'm sure is just at that time it just didn't work as well. But I'm glad.
Visually, it was the most stunning show Orgy. Like Jay Gordon said, it was
awesome.
3 shows.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was super cool. Yeah.
Are you coming to New Orleans for Halloween?
I'm working on it. Yeah, I'm on something pretty big right now, and it picks back up.
Oh shit! I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it picks back up in October. I just did it a couple weeks. Definitely not allowed to talk about it, but it picks back up in October and goes till like January or February. And there's dates all over the place. So I don't know. And things can change, there's nothing, there's some hard dates, but like, I don't know. I can't commit to like anything right now. It's like literally the only thing I'm thinking about. And I'm just going to fit everything else wherever it fits. But I'd love to get out there.
I think I have an idea what you're doing, but I'm not going to try to ask you questions on a podcast.
Yeah.
But I think it's I think if you don't make it to Halloween, I will not be upset.
Right. Yeah, let's just say if I don't make it to anything by next year, I'll be fine. Or I hope nobody gets upset.
I was surprised.
I don't know. I phrased that wrong. What's that?
Well, we have the vampire living room. Someone goes to me, "Are you the vampire king of Los Angeles?" And I go, "No, man. I just host a lounge and have people come up and have some drinks." And the stage at the Wednesday's party is the Vampire Lounge, the Agora. And someone goes, "Are you holding court?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not playing Vampire the Masquerade. I'm running a place where everyone's welcome as long as you have fangs or have had gotten fangs. Come up, hang out, relax. It's a vampire living room."
Right. It's super fun. We went last night. That's where I saw you.
Yeah.
That's why we're even doing this right now. That's why we had tea today.
Yes, we went and had high tea. If you check my Instagram, you can see the high tea.
Yeah. Anybody in Hollywood that wants to, I got a ton of responses in my my Instagram story today because I posted us having tea together and sandwiches. It's called what was it called? Chado.
It's cheaper than Starbucks.
Yeah, it's amazing. I bought a bag of tea. Actually, it's right here.
Oh, cool.
Let's do all these. We're gonna do a whole bunch of plugs today. Shameless plugs.
Yes.
So this is sponsored by Chado.
Yeah.
And I got the organic Lapsang Souchong. I don't know if I said that right. But it's really I'm like, she's like, "Well, what do you like?" I was like, "I like tobacco, smoky." Oh, Starbucks. We don't need to plug Starbucks. Tobacco smoky tea, and it just smells so amazing. It actually almost smells like pipe tobacco. And anybody out there that knows pipe tobacco smell is just like one of the best smells ever. Not great for you, but whatever. But yeah, we had tea today, and it was super nice. And it's over the Chinese Theater, like Promenade Mall thing there. So go check it out. It's really good.
I do a lot of my business meetings there, and it's actually more affordable than Starbucks, and it's more classy and it's quiet.
Yeah.
So it's cool. And make sure that when you go, get your car validation.
Yeah.
So
definitely
that's cool.
Yeah.
So let me ask you some questions.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember your first Endless Night?
Oh boy. I think so. It had, excuse me. It was when the Globe had that glass still. Remember?
Oh wow.
The VIP area, and I was DJing. You had me DJing. I don't know if I was DJing twice, where I did the very beginning of the night where everyone walked in, and then I moved upstairs and then also DJ'd the VIP. I definitely remember DJing in the VIP area for a little while, like an hour or two. That might have only been it. I don't know if that was the first one that I did with Rochelle, performance-wise, or that was the second year.
That was the first year.
It was okay.
This
right. I did that. That's what I did. Then I went and DJ'd upstairs. Yeah.
This Vampire Ball, the LA Vampire Ball, is like the Dodgers. We moved from New York to LA.
Right.
Okay, and we're on our, I think, our 6th year. We've had it at the Globe the whole time, and that's one of my favorite venues.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the stage is great, the LED display is great, the opera boxes, this basement,
Yep.
and we had the merchant area downstairs from Memento Mori this year. It was awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it
It
was
was awesome.
rad. They moved everything down there. There's more space on the floor upstairs. It seemed more of a ball than walking in, and there's just things to buy everywhere. So it kind of was distracting from like getting into the mood of like it being like a
Mhm.
ball, where it's just more elegant, and you're upstairs to be in the vibe, to be in the moment, to be in the music and all that, and with each other, and then you want to go buy stuff and get away from that, then you go downstairs, and I think that it was good to kind of separate those this time. And so
Yeah, we're booked for 4 more years at the Globe Theater,
amazing.
so we'll
Well,
definitely.
I will hopefully be there every single time. Obviously, Neon Coven already played, but I do have another band, Merzik. Maybe that could work. Otherwise, I would always love to DJ and or just whatever you have me do.
Well, you're Lost Anthony Lost Boys. You're part of the Vampire Coven of Los Angeles.
Oh yeah,
So, what is your favorite memory of Endless Night?
this one or forever or all of them.
Forever, anytime.
Um, True. Probably this last show. I mean,
Yeah.
getting up there and just the lights going, the smoke going, everybody moving um, together, and us playing, original music, and actually a lot of people in the front row singing along with some of my original music is
Oh
always one of
wow.
my favorite. Yeah, because they already know. So they already know it. I mean, we started in 2014. Obviously a lot of them were my best friends that know it really well, but there's, and getting off stage and people that I never seen before, like, oh my God, I follow, I know your music and da, da, da. It's like, it's cool. Like I've always been inspired. We've all been inspired by our artists in the past, and, people we look up to and we are inspired by that have changed, helped us through certain times, or helped us be in a party mode or romantic mode, or, if we're sad or happy or whatever. And so, for me to like return that favor, in a way, is really fulfilling to people to enjoy my art as much as I've enjoyed other artists' art, and so if it helps them, if it moves them or whatever, then we're just sharing these emotions and memories and moments together in time before we're in the afterlife. And so yeah, I mean, that was probably one of my favorite ones, for sure. All the other ones were, it's cool to DJ and party and whatever, but for me to be up there and do my thing, like that's what I do. At the end of the day, it's like, I can act here and I can do some art over here and, do a million things, definitely Renaissance dude. But to be up there and play and sing original music to what was it, 1,000 people or something.
Yeah, we
um,
had about 1,400, I think.
oh, it's 1,400.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was more than I thought.
there's the early crowd, then the late crowd. So
Right.
you were like right between 11, 10:30 and 12
Yeah.
is thing. I remember my gatekeeper came up to me and he was like, Sebastian, you made your bar guarantee by 11 o'clock. And I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
And that was
That's awesome.
incredible.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. But yeah, to,
It
to,
was
to do that is probably my favorite thing, so that
okay.
was probably my favorite memory. And obviously having James Jeremias from who wrote the Lost Boys with us in the green room beforehand, meeting him because of my bass player, they're neighbors, and me getting to tell 1,400 vampires or whatever in LA for my performance time, to say that he was up there in the bleachers there, whatever you want to call it, was a pretty cool thing. And having him watch us perform a song that was kind of, in a way, like I said, inspired by Lost Boys, because that's who we are. We're like fun, radical vampire dudes from Cali. At least I am. And it's just, I don't know, it was really cool. It was a great moment. So yeah, thank you for having us and appreciate that.
No problem. It was a pleasure to have you. How
Awesome.
would you describe your style and what inspires you when you're dressing for Endless Night or a night out in town?
Oh, like what I'm wearing right now?
Yeah, like
Oh,
is it
this is called road chic. So like I basically, as long as it looks like I ran over by a car, by a tire, see all the shreds,
okay?
then I'm good. Then I think I'm good to go, you know.
Yeah. Well, you and Ashley seem to have a pretty similar
Oh,
style.
yeah, here's another plug. So this is my really good buddy, um, Eli James, and he has
Okay.
a company called Ghost Circus. And
Oh, that's a cool brand.
Ghost Circus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people know them. And so he actually he made me 2 custom shirts for the Merzik music video. So one of these shirts is in that video that everyone will see eventually. And so thank you, Eli, for making us some clothing. There's some
Welcome.
Jungle Tribe in there. There's my other sponsor endorsement. I love Jungle Tribe. Their holsters, necklaces, jewelry. They've taken care of me, through the years, and love the boys and everybody there. And getting ready to go out at night. Over the years, it's just been different styles of black. You know, what can I wear that's the next best black thing to wear? And I like to be comfortable. I don't wear logos. I don't, except for that Playboy shirt I was wearing last night. I just got that. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was wondering what was going on with that.
I saw it online. I was like, I want a Playboy, and I like long sleeves, and just said Playboy on it, the big chrome bunny. I was like, yeah, I'll wear that. And speaking of clothing, which is funny, here's another plug. Here's another thing I do. It's called I used to model.
Oh shit.
And it's so fun. We're just promoting, having a good time, party, summertime, or all the time, whenever. And that actually started as another band when it was like 2013 before I moved to
Yeah.
LA with a good buddy of mine, Daniel Omar, and Brian from Merzik. And we were basically we called it improv voodoo rock, which is pretty cool.
Improv voodoo rock.
Yeah. As I look at your logo here with the skull, the voodoo guy.
That's Fred Semetti.
Fred Semetti.
We're working on getting Fred to get his own manga or comic book.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and his origin story will be very soon.
Hell yeah, can't wait to hear about it. But yeah, so I used to model. What was that?
Fred was the one that bought you lunch, so we got to say thank you, Fred.
Hey, Freddie, thanks, man. The sandwiches were real good. I liked having tea with my buddy, and then we had some crumpets, some biscuits, some sandwiches. It was Italian. It was kind of an Italian tea time. I don't know. Is that right? That's how my whole family talks, but I'm from Cali, so I talk like a dude. But when I get a little buzz sometimes or whatever, the Italian starts coming out. Awesome. Anyways, a lot of tangents, but I used to model. Started as a band, and then we improv'd a couple of shows, and it was pretty cool. But then just kind of drifted away, and then we turned into a fashion line. We're like, oh, let's just make it like t-shirts and like cool like board shorts or I don't know, whatever, leggings. And it'll be fun, because my other buddies from Cali, and so I was like, yeah, cool. And we did that for a little while when I moved to LA, brought another buddy into it, and then it kind of drifted away. And now I'm bringing it back, got a whole new store, whole new thing, and we're hitting it pretty hard. And it's just another thing we're doing, just kind of a fun thing. I just wear the hat around, and people are like, what is that? I'm like, I don't know. It's just funny. Like it's a cool fashion line. And we're probably gonna, maybe do some events. And, I have like the dark side of me, but this is my like fun Cali party time. It keeps the lightness in my mood, in my heart, in my soul, because I need that like party rock vibe, pool parties and just having a good time and don't take yourself too seriously kind of thing. And we're going to
vampire city.
It is. And, I actually wanted to talk to you about that because we want to like eventually, as we're starting up here, we want to start getting into like maybe a couple of causes, to donate to. So we've been chatting, the company's been chatting about that. So we want to start donating, proceeds to sales to certain things. So we're going to figure that out. So stay tuned because we want to have,
Midnight Mission.
Okay. What's that?
It's a homeless outreach center.
Oh, nice.
But the Midnight Mission is like I have two charities that I really am like I've been working with. Is
Mm,
Midnight Mission is someone that I'm thinking about sponsoring with for 2023,
mhm.
and they're just the brand itself, Midnight Mission, is very vampiric in itself. So
Okay.
it's a downtown homeless shelter,
Mhm.
and they get a lot of good results. And then there's also Don't Be a Monster, which is
Yep,
another
I know
great
them.
brand. And bringing awareness to a charity is just as good as raising money for it.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I think both of those actually be perfect because I know that you guys are do the Don't Be Monster, and I've lost a couple of friends to that, and a
Mhm.
roommate, and it's just happens all over the place. A good friend of mine just lost her brother to that. So and I'm Shock the Monster, so I relate to that, and in that brand of charity, and it's hard stuff. So yeah, we're all about bringing awareness to all that. So we're probably going to start pushing a lot of that, make some cool t-shirts that are in collaboration with them, maybe, or whatever works, getting the message
Cool.
out to people. To And we all know the homeless situation in LA is pretty nuts. So
Yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
crazy.
whatever could help, we'll see.
Okay,
Yeah, what else you got?
what how did we meet? I can't remember.
Vampire Wine Lounge.
Oh yeah.
You came in and
That
you
was
were wearing a red coat. I think it was the first time I met you, and I was
okay.
DJing. And Ashley was doing her thing, and you rolled in, and she had talked about you obviously already, and then I met you finally, and then
Cool. We love Ash.
yeah,
All right. So final question about Endless Night.
sure.
Okay. In your own vision, what would you tell someone about Endless Night who hasn't been there?
Ooh, prepare for something that you have never experienced in your life. But yeah, when I tell people about it, I mean, I guess the best way is like when I'm sitting there telling somebody and they're like, a vampire ball? Oh my God, what is that? That's always the reaction. Like, and then of course the next thing they say, is people drinking blood? Are they drinking blood there? I'm like, no, it's just it's an awesome, fun, elegant, dark, just party. It's like exactly what you would think it is everybody dresses up to the nines. It's like having Halloween in February, and
Yeah.
having this just really cool, awesome event to go to. And it's everything that you really would imagine it to be. There's a basement, it's an old theater, it's got the smells, and there's all these cool pathways to get up to the opera boxes, and there's red lights everywhere, and the smells of the incense and all the things happening in the basement that I can't talk about unless you go. And really cool vendors, lots of cool stuff to buy and whatever. And so yeah, I mean all the entertainment, obviously the last band was super awesome.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Great. Good time.
so yeah, I mean that's all it is. It's just a really awesome vampire event. You should definitely go check it out.
Thank you, Anthony.
I'll be there.
So, as our final question, where can people find you?
You can find me at Shock the Monster on all handles.
Very good.
Instagram Shock the Monster. Instagram is Mursic, MURSIC _official. All my links, just go to Shock the Monster. All my links are there. And you'll see I used to model, and Vampiro the book, Neon Coven, and all those have websites. If you want to buy the book, we have some hardcovers that we're running out of. We only printed 500 of these originals. We've already re-edited and stuff. So this is like those action figures that have the flaws in them. So I'm being very optimistic that something will happen in the future here with really big stuff. And if you get one of these original books, then it's like getting yourself some stock, and that book could go through the roof one day. So you can go on the vampiriothebook.com, and I think it's $50, and you get a nice rad hardcover, and both my dad and I will sign that for you. So go check it out, and while supplies last. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything's basically it's all based off the Instagram. So yeah, go check it out.
Cool. Anthony, thank you for your day, your night,
Likewise.
and
Hell yeah.
having tea with me and getting ready for this interview.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Rock and roll, brother.
Cheers, guys. Good to see you.
Thank you for watching. The best way to support us on this vampire adventure is through the crowdsource funding website, Patreon. Please support our sponsors, Endless Night, Vampire Ball, Sabretooth 3D Fangs, and Vampire Magazine. Thank you. Rock and roll.